brothers for all coming over here. I know some of y'all brothers were dragged over here. I know some of you brothers were reluctant to come over here, but then I also know some of you brothers wanted to come over here. So with that, it's all peace and love. So with the way I approach things, how can I make an impact? A positive impact on my community, a positive impact on my brothers. What can I do? I came up with the voice of the youth. Because I remember when I was in track, I remember when I had nobody to look up to except the drug dealers and the gangsters. And that's where I went. Except the athletes, because that's all I thought I could ever be. That's all they tell a black man nowadays. You either shooting hoops, selling crack, or you a rapper. So what could I do? I said, let me go ahead and put back. Because no longer is it about myself, the money, all the things I can gain. It's about what can I do for my community to empower you brothers. And some of you guys will not get it right now, but eventually as you get older and more mature, you will. But today is we come together to hopefully ignite some of that flame in some of you brothers to understand that there is a war on your life. You need to take it serious. Some of you guys will not be able to wake up like I did around 30 years old and be able to change and do something as impactful and powerful as this. Look around us. Look for a second. Stop and look. Everyone look. Look at somebody else. Look at all the different ages, the different faces. You don't even know and not aware the stories that some of these brothers have had. But they're all real. Because we've all come together. Change starts within us. Change starts now. We can't wait no longer, y'all. We can't pretend that we have time. Because it could be one of you guys. It could be one of you guys that one of us hold a sign for that says Black Lives Matter. It could be one of you guys that we start putting a hashtag on. Like they do with I Can't Breathe, Don't Shoot, Hands Up. It could be one of you men in here that could actually be our next leader. But you have to decide which one you're going to be.
So you're gonna have to be persistent. If it's something you want, you can't be denied. If you want to get a good grade, you want the teacher to help you, you have to continue to be persistent. You have to go after it. If you want a job and someone tells you no the first time, you're just gonna stop and go, oh man, that was all right. No, you're gonna do whatever you can and get better and try and do whatever you can to get that job. So if you have to do extra work or do something, find a way to show the teacher that you are really trying to make it happen, that's what you're gonna have to do. So you might have to go out and go above and beyond to make something happen. They're gonna try and hold you back. They're gonna try and do everything they can to hold you back and believe that you're inferior. But that's not true. You have to believe and you have to understand, but you have to be willing to work. You can't be lazy and just expect things to be handed out to you. You have to sacrifice. And you have to work. You have to believe in what you're doing and you have to put in the effort. Don't be afraid about not being cool. Because guess what? The cool ones usually end up in trouble, right? But it's the ones that are doing their own thing and not afraid to go with the trends that end up becoming successful down the road. If you're cool and you're out there, oh yeah, I'm doing whatever and I'm not taking care of my business and myself, that's not good. You gotta make sure you take care of you first. And if you do what you do and you love what you do, everybody else is gonna end up getting on board later. Everybody has their own story, and if you do what you love, people will come and they'll show.
They talk, like the way they speak to us, it's like they've known us for a while. It's like their family.
I want to tell you guys this too. So when you see somebody that's doing something that you like and you respect and you understand that you want to be a part of it, don't be afraid to reach out and ask. I met this kid, he was a freshman in college, about 3 years ago. We were at a Raider game. He reached out to me and said, hey Sam, I follow you on Facebook. I see the business stuff you're doing. I want to be a part. How can I help you? He started helping me 3 years ago. We've been doing little projects at a time, and all of a sudden big opportunities come, and now he is a founding member of something big and special. But it's just because he wasn't afraid to reach out and ask. If you want something, whenever I go to these events, it's the kids that come up to me afterwards and ask me for my contact info. Hey, can you mentor me? Because I did the same thing to Jerry Rice. I did the same thing to Magic Johnson. I did it to those people. So we are all here to share our information and help the next generation become great.
I didn't know I was a creative person until high school, in terms of music. I did a lot of songs in high school, I sold my beats in high school, I did all that. But with that, when I knew that I was creative, thanks to my dad over there, he had equipment upstairs and I used to bang out on equipment. And then I took over his room and started making beats, selling it to teachers in school. I was telling a young man here, he said he's a rapper. What's your name again? Isaiah. He said he's a rapper. He said, how do you get to where you go? Well, the first thing you do is you start creating music and start giving it to people. Don't be afraid to excel in what you do. You may think that, oh man, this ain't good enough, but you gotta really believe in what you do. It's the desire that Sam talked about, which is a perfect word, is if you desire in your heart what you do, you'll get it. But you have to have that desire 100%. Any 50%, 75%, even 89%, 90% is not good enough. You gotta have 100% desire in what you do.
It's a good program. I think that more like children or men should get into this association.
And it's like, that's the culture that we got now. It's like, people are so about themselves. It's like, how are you helping other people out with what you want to do?
Why should you worry about somebody else when you got your own life to worry about?
It's always somebody doing something for somebody, brother. It's about your perception and how you look at life and how you see things. Your perception means everything in your life.
Because if you focus on yourself, all you're going to change is nothing. Because how you change other people is you're really changing yourself inside. Because you're not being selfish. And I think for me, well, I know for me, I flipped the way I thought, which got me to where I'm at. It wasn't just based upon my talent and skills, my perception was right. So even now, it still happens, it's a cycle of life. Like, I signed a RocNation, but there'll be a time where I'm gonna be down. Like, dang, man, like, but my perception is gonna be right. Like, you know what did I do last time I was down? Don't nothing happen overnight. I have to struggle. You know what I'm saying? So my story is long stretch, but basically what I'm saying is, y'all gotta work hard. And the work hard isn't just physical, it's mental. Like, y'all gotta cultivate your minds here. Y'all may not want to read. I didn't like reading when I was in high school. I hated it. Now I love it. The reason why I love it is because those words help me out in my mental.
More times than not, you visualize your success and where you want to be. Visualize what you have to do to get there, the work to get there. Because if you want to be whatever you want to be, it's easy to imagine yourself on top. Imagine the workload you're going to have to do.
Show you right.
Focus on that. And then, because you'll get there eventually. You can think about where you're going. If you don't get in your car and go there, you're not going to get there.
So journey, baby.
So think about the journey more than the destination. Because that's what makes it fun anyway.
You have to be by yourself in total silence.
Yes.
Period. Because that's when you face yourself. And sometimes we don't do that because we don't want to face ourselves. It's hard to face ourselves.
The world is full of distractions. Everything that is going on right now is set up to be a distraction. It's set up to be a distraction for people like me and you. And so you have to overcome that distracting by staying focused.
Like, what we all doing is changing the mindset of what y'all have to deal with day to day. Like, I know it may be hard for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine. But at the same time, like, you got to make sure that you know what it takes to carry that positive attitude. You got to snap out of that, because fear, doubt, and all that, that's fake. When you feeling down, nobody may be there for you, that's fake.
Yes.
Somebody is there for you. We there spiritually. And that's what we got to tap into.
We're African. We come from African people, and our communities have always been historically tribal. So you're never alone.
To be honest, it changed me. Like, just right now from listening to what they were saying, they were saying the truth, and they ain't saying like in a harmful or mean way.
Everybody say think. No, say think. Think. The hardest thing for a man to do is to think. That was Emerson. Most people don't want to think. They want somebody to think for them. That's why you get stuck on jobs you don't like. So learn to use your brain. For those of you who don't want to read, you better start reading. Because if you don't read, you're in trouble. It was a reason they murdered and slaughtered our ancestors when they found out they could read. Thoughts are things. You'll attract what you think about all the time. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. Your mind is powerful. That's why they try to destroy you guys. Everybody say Sankofa.
Sankofa.
Say Sankofa.
Sankofa.
You guys study that word and study it. Know what the word means, because it's for you. It means reach back and fetch your ancient history. Understand who you are and what your people have done. And then you take that knowledge and information and you move back with it and you take it to the future with power. Because that's what we're doing now. We building nations today.
Really change my mind and really how I think about myself and need to know more about my history.
They don't teach you that. They're not going to tell you about your greatness. They're not going to tell you about your power. They're not going to tell you about it. They don't want you to know. Melanin is so important, they use it for everything, but they don't tell you about it. They're going to tell you was a slave in school. And that's a lie. Slavery was a mere interruption in our great ancient history. Y'all been miseducated on purpose. They don't want you to like reading. They don't want you to like writing. They want you to think that you're going to be a basketball star. They want you to think like that because they don't want you to use your greatness. So I'm trying to get y'all brains to working because you guys have been sitting around here and you know they have you right where they want you. We need you guys to be different because you guys are our hope. Yes. You are so powerful, brother. But you gotta know it, you gotta believe it, and you gotta run with it. Yes. You gotta build yourself up, you gotta sharpen your mind with knowledge and information to take you to the highest height. On purpose. Let me give you something that the great W.E.B. Du Bois said. He said that we have to have a dual consciousness. You have to have a consciousness of this America, the United States of America. You got to understand how this thing operates and what's here. You got to know. And then you got to have a consciousness that you are really African. And you got a great ancient history. I'm here for you. This country was built on slavery. Our ancestors slaved. They murdered them, they butchered them, they raped them, they hung them from trees. Slavery did the Europeans good. And when they like something, they don't stop. Slavery is alive and well in the United States today. The prison industrial system, the new form of slavery.
I didn't think it was gonna be cool, but now I want to come. Now I want to come. And, it's a blessing to have people that care about me and just blacks like I do. Man, I'm just thankful.
I want to ask people is what's the difference between opinion and perspective? Anyone know? That's for everyone.
Opinion is on something that like you have your input on, and I think perspective is how you see it.
I think an opinion is like everybody's generalization of something, and a perspective is more of like how you would categorize it. You know, does that make sense?
This is perspective. He's about to punch him. Oh shit. His hands are down. He didn't do anything. This is opinion. Trigger. Gun. He's actually robbing him. But you don't see that part. All you see is this part when he punches him. There's opinion and perspective. Depending on where you are, it looks like one thing. Depending on where you are, there's fact. Perspective is where you are in life. Opinion is how you feel about where you are in life. Right? Thank you, fellas. Opinion in your life. You need to know how to separate opinion from perspective. A lot of times in life, you'll see what's going on the TV screen. The revolution won't be televised. That shit will probably be on Twitter. So if you Instagram the Molotov, shell cases, no filter, hashtag, burn a flag, bomb a building, post on Facebook, like, for the right to assemble, marching nightly, more than likely they probably kill us. And then remember us as villains. They think of us as less, but we've been more. Literally speaking, we've been Moors. The little fact that my teacher chose to ignore, never taught me my history, never chose to inform, enforced the fact that blacks are good for selling crack and sports, writing raps and shooting porn, performing songs about it all, and thanking God for the award before the sword replaced the pen, for the boys replaced the men. We had queens and sacred men, had it all, had it all. We had pride within our people, we didn't fall, we was pushed. Once they noticed we was golden, that's when everything was stolen. Some villages even sold them. Imagine, take a moment, when my whole entire culture is forced across the ocean, beaten, raped into submission, lynched and forced into division of our gender, age, and pigment. But close your books. That's all we get to read. They only teaching us Rosa and Dr. King. The revolution won't be televised. It'll probably be on Twitter, Instagram, your Molotov, shell cases, no filter. Hashtag, burn a flag, bomb a building, post on Facebook, like, for the right to assemble. Marching nightly, more than likely they probably kill us. And then remember us as villains. We just some revolutionary children. Revolutionaries are villains.
Wow.
What you have to learn how to do is separate your opinion from your perspective. Step out of your shoes and see this as a third person area view on what moves you should make then. Education is not confined within the borders and bounds of walls. If we are obviously talking about the lies they are teaching us about our culture, why would we retain that knowledge beyond the test we have to take? Because then you're swallowing a virus and willingly keeping it. Mind you, if that same textbook or computer that we're learning from has the knowledge of us in it, and we willingly neglect it, that is stupidity, by definition. Stupidity is the opportunity to know or having said knowledge and not applying it, versus ignorance, which is never known. That's why we are called ignorant as a people, because you don't know, which is not a bad thing.
It feels good because you know that they love and care about you and they only want to see you do your best and be successful.
However, if you knew it, and somebody asked you, and you didn't apply it, now you're stupid. Before there was schoolhouse, there were griots. Griots are teachers. Before there was paper, knowledge was passed about orally, like I spit now. Before there was walls, school was this. Griots.
Oh, definitely. I think my friends should all join this program.
I like to be more a part of this.